PureEnergyConnections, revolutionizing wellness, detoxification, and energy healing. But today we have something special. We have a new era in self-sustainability, and that's with nutrient-dense, clean, and fresh non-GMO produce using advanced controlled environment technologies while maintaining the use of natural nutrient-rich soil. These systems can be on or off grid, leaving less of a footprint on the planet. So today I am so thrilled to introduce someone truly inspiring, the visionary behind this remarkable humanitarian global food grow project, and that can literally provide hundreds, if not thousands, of pounds of nutritionally dense, clean produce monthly, whether in small community cities or larger. So over the past few months, I've had the privilege of getting to know him. I can honestly say he's one of the most generous and compassionate individuals I've ever met. And he truly has a mission, folks. You're going to enjoy this. This is very unique, and definitely stay to the end. I am proud to introduce Ray Urrutia, and he's the mastermind behind the terraponic farming. I believe he's the CEO of Terra Firma Foods. I think it's CEO, Ray. And
yes,
also we're,
founder.
Good. And founder, yes. And where big change is coming to our country and the world in nutritious food for everyone. So be part of this movement with us, and welcome, Ray. I thank you for being here today. This is probably one of the most exciting shows for me, because self-sustainability and what you're doing with food is always been one of my largest projects, next to water, of course. So thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to share with your audience and a different way of looking at food.
Yes, and you will. This is just amazing. Well, good. Well, let's start it off with your mission, I think, first, and where you're heading.
The mission with Terra Firma is to feed God's children. I had the opportunity, I believe we call it an opportunity, to work in various shelters in Aurora, where I live. And the thing I looked at was nobody grew up or was born to stand a food line. And so there's a lot of issues out there that this will address. So with that in mind, I said, it's got to be a better way. And I thought it took me years to actually get to this point, because I was thinking about it, like, what do I do? How do I do it? But then about 5 or 6 years ago, a video came to me of a container with soil inside to grow. I literally watched 3 minutes of it. I hung up my phone. I called the person that sent it to me. I said, I'm in. That day, I created a company. I started creating a model, what they call brain mapping. I wrote Terra Firma in the circle, and I created it and said, well, here's everything I need. And lo and behold, everything I thought I needed then versus what we have now is night and day. There's so many pieces here. But what I started also looking at is, when you get around the world, is what are the issues? Food safety, transport, freshness, nutrients, and then looking at now. So in my mind, what I wanted to do, and we're embarking on that now, to feed God's children, we have to be everywhere and anywhere, and we have the ability to do that. We have encased environments from 18 by 18 square foot up to 200,000 square feet if we need it. And we have other environments that we can actually scale down or up depending on what we need. And so let's start looking at the problems again. There are people over this world starving. I'm aware of 2 million kids in the UK that aren't getting enough food. Here in the States, it's probably equal amount. It's not so much that they just don't have access to it. So what I want to do in the environments we go to, I want to donate 10% of everything we grow into those neighborhoods. So people who don't have access, and people who can't afford it. And organic is organic, but what we're representing here is clean. And that's how we want to help individuals eat better foods, change their diets. The other area is transportation. People may or may not know this, but the furthest point that food is transported is 1,500 miles away. So when you think about something getting on a ship, so it's harvested. And the thing about harvesting, once you cut it, it starts decaying. Just like cutting your arm. which is kind of opposite, that we start healing them after we cut it, it starts healing together. But with food, it doesn't die right away, but it starts decaying. So what happens is they have to freeze it, water it, put it in a box, keep it iced, ship it to 1,500 miles. Could take anywhere from, 7 to 10 days by the time it hits the ports. Then it has to get in a truck to go to its destination. They re-chill it, re-ice it to get that portion done. And then once they get there, most of the grocery stores I talk to, 55% of their produce is dead. And why? Well, it's being transported. So in addressing that need, if delivering better and fresher food, what we're doing is, if we have what we call an ag tech park, I'll go more detail in that a little bit here. But the ag tech park is only going to serve a community that it's in. So I live in Chicagoland. With Chicago, I can feed 9 million people over time. Not right away, of course, but over time. I'm not going south. I'm not going north. I'm not going east. I'm not going west. We're staying in this particular triangle coming out of this city here in Aurora to feed those individuals. And because the reason I want to do that, and the purpose behind it is, if I harvest it today, I want to deliver it today, not 3 weeks from now, 2 weeks from now, and store it someplace and have it, start decaying right away. And then with the shipping of it, and just to give you an idea, taking a step further, the freshness, the trucks are going to mirror the indoor farm. We're going to have lighting inside the trucks to take the plant and kind of spoof it a little bit, and it's still growing under lighting. And then once they get it, they're going to have it fresh that day. And so that gives about 30, 40-minute window to get it to them. And we believe we can achieve that based on, Chicago is only 40 miles away, but if you've ever been here, it takes a while to get there in traffic time. But if we can leave at 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, we'll get there in 40 minutes, and we'll deliver it to wherever we got to deliver it to. So that addresses that. So when we look at food safety, that covers some of it, because now food safety, the way we handle it, will be done internally before we even deliver it. And we have people coming on board to do that. And then when you look at the environment, we are taking a big footprint here to grow 3 million pounds of food a month. Our footprint's about 25 acres, but it's more in the buildings and the technology we're bringing to the table than it is growing. And so now let's go inside the farm. Inside the farm, we have no pesticides. We have no bugs. It's a clean, sterile environment. We customize our own soil. We customize our own seeds. And everything we use is specially designed for this particular farm. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not an inventor of technology to be in the farm. I like to leverage technology. What's the best out there? How do we deliver it? How do we make it happen? And I have people on my team that have knowledge of those particular areas, and I leave it up to them to drive the best that we can drive. And so when we do that, we have automation for racks. We can grow. Here's the thing. In soil, we can grow anything you want. What I'm going to stay away from is trees. Our facilities are designed to grow trees, avocado trees, banana trees, pineapple trees, whatever there's out, coconut trees. We're not designed for that. But what we can grow is Aaron, who is the chief scientist. He said we can grow an internal apple tree that goes upright, like a tomato. And we can do that. My always concern about bringing something on like that, I like the idea, but can we grow abundance? Because once people get used to it, they're going to want to see it all the time. And then we have to dedicate a separate facility just for that, which we can. But when you look at the environment we're creating, we're going to go automation from planting seeds to harvesting to packaging. On one hand, I want to create jobs and opportunities for people. But on the other hand, unfortunately, as human beings, we're very contaminant. So we don't want anybody inside touching it and contaminating someone. We want to try to mitigate that the best we can. So when you look at all the things we're doing, it's to deliver more nutrient food, better nutrient food. We're delivering a healthier plant, abundance of it, sharing it, and delivering it fresh. Nobody's going to wait 2 days to get it. And our main goal is to satisfy the grocery stores, small chains, 200 stores or smaller. And then the other way for the consumer, what we're going to be doing is actually using a service out there on our website over time to actually order online. You can order one time or frequent subscription. So with that being said, we're going to deliver that by drones within the laws of the drones are from distance and so forth. But all that will be addressed as we get moving here. But when you look at the other side of what we do, and the other thing that we did up front, we include our own energy platform. We have a company called TFF Energy that has different type of energy companies it represents, and the main one was a clean energy, which is what they call waste to clean energy. And we're taking 18 tons of waste in a day, so that helps also the planet. We're not dumping it, not going to a landfill. The rubbish companies will bring it to us. It's got to be clean. It can't be just dirty, and we can't have any steel, glass, or anything like that, and metal in there. But that there will give us about 10 million kilowatts per annum, which reduces our costs and footprint to the grid. So we have to plug into it. Plus, we create thermal for heating and cooling ourselves. We create our own CO2 for the plants. So we're mitigating a lot of different costs that most indoor farms or farmers need to use for their plants. And the way we manage that is with the kilowatts. We can, so right now in Illinois, it's 23 cents a kilowatt. If we're paying zero on that, that reduces cost to the product itself that's being developed, how we deliver it, and also make it more attractive to the consumer when they go to the store to buy it. And I'm going to say this out loud, and I've said it to a lot of different people. I don't understand why organic food is so expensive. If it's better and cleaner and better, I mean, it should be cheaper, right? And that's what we're going to try to do. We're going to address that. And whoever sees this from the grocery store chains or sees this from a farmer or other folks, they might get mad at me. But the reality is it can be achieved. And we're going to try to get there. So you look at the homeowner, my belief is over the next 5 to 10 years, it's already starting. Individuals are going to start growing food in their backyard. And I know DJ is already, but when you look at most people, and I want to say the 40 to 50-year-old great, maybe 35 and up, they didn't grow up with the backyard of the farm. I know I did. We had a couple acres of land. We grew our own food. And we had 7 kids in our family, so my dad had plenty of help to make sure it was maintained, and we harvested and all the things going with it. And when you look at yards today, there are flowers and plants, which is great, but the real issue is food. So right now, if I buy a 5-ounce package of romaine lettuce, it's going to cost me almost $5. Now imagine you're in your backyard, this food's growing, you'll be able to monitor it. And as you go to the backyard, you're taking steps. Now, is there a cost to actually grow it? Well, our seeds aren't going to be, even though we're customized, we're not charging, it's going to be part of the package. So there's no really direct cost there. Maybe in replenishing years down the line it will be, but we'll always have it available. It'll have its own energy as well, because what I didn't want to do is have homeowners increase their electric bill to make this run. So we're going to do some solar panels, which we're looking for some better solar technology today that we can adapt to make it more effective, cost effective in terms of how we implement it. So we're trying to think of everything we can to keep it safe, keep it deliverable, keep it the homeowner happy in terms of what we deliver. And again, their flexibility is they can grow whatever they want within reason, without putting trees in the back inside the farm itself. The other side of all this, so now we have it. We talked about the next gen K-Pod. We talked about the next gen farms and its footprint. We can go from any size. The other part of it is the building products. The building products are custom made. They're windproof and hurricane proof. They're good from minus 150 degrees to plus 150 degrees. So now we have a total encased environment that we can maintain 70 degrees at all times. And that helps the plant grow better. It helps it keep it even temperature. We're not going to have fluctuations of, like in the Midwest here, I think this year they were late in planting. I think they started about April versus, began in March, going into April, May. They lost about 6 weeks there of a growth plant, but then you got those low temperatures drop that unexpectedly, and then it rises again. And here it's been 95 degrees for the last 6 weeks, almost every day. It's cooled off now, but it's still hot. We can take that and put it aside. So we're very contrarian to weather. We're very contrarian to storms. And having something that's hurricane proof and wind proof, we can put on an island, still be upright. And that protects the environment, protects the food, and protects the people that are acquiring it. And in terms of the backyard, the design was to grow approximately 3,500 pounds, depending on what you're growing, inside. And what does that do? You have family members, you have neighbors, you want to share it, maybe sharing the cost of it, how to get that up and running. But people will have healthier food, they'll be able to manage it themselves. We're going to have sensors in there, videos in there that you can have an app that you'll be able to check it yourself to make sure how it's growing. And we'll have alarms when it's time to harvest. So it's not foolproof. You still have to have involvement, but we're going to try and make it as safe as possible. So when you go in there, you just take a step in, we're going to have some sanitation because we don't want the plants to get contaminated by any means. And I love children. I have grandchildren. I have children. And grandchildren like to touch things, no matter what it is. They want to dig. I don't blame them. Looks like fun. But we are contaminants, and we got to make sure we watch out for that. There'll be good training, all things that go with it. We have a good scientist on board that understands all that. He's bringing a good team on board. And with all that being said, we have healthy food, clean food. And one of the things that I'm trying to achieve is go from like a 7 to 10 day shelf life to go to 15-day to 20-day shelf life. And some people think I'm crazy. Maybe I am. But I believe it could be achievable. And Aaron believes it could be achievable with the right science. And when you look at the nutrients, so right now we get about 135 nutrients to the plant. Some of the other indoor farmings can't. The way the technology or the way the process is. So what we're trying to do, I want to go from 135 to 150, 160. Now, what has to happen with that? It could be soil. It could be living soil with worms. We talked about stingless bees being inside because they pollinate. There's a lot of different ways of approaching it. And as we get through the science part of it, we'll probably implement some of those paths to make sure that we have the best nutrient-based type food that we can deliver. And then this may or may not affect you, but one of the things we're trying to do is bring back, I think we call it heritage type seeds that were grown thousands of years ago, and they're stored, but aren't grown today because either where they were at, the culture's changed, the climate changed, the soil changed, and they couldn't grow there anymore. I want to bring it back in the best way we can to support people that are still looking for those type of foods. And plants and herbs and all the things that go with it that I believe we can bring back. And nobody's telling me no yet, which is good. And we know there's a seed bank in Iceland that can they have I think 44,000 or seeds of types, and we want to go up there and take a look at what they have and see if we can bring some of that back and have the science look at it and see what we can do with it. So there's a lot of things here that we're talking about right now. The question is, what does it mean to you? If you're to look at what we have, I think it's eating healthier, eating, as I say, healthier. I have granddaughters right now that are gluten-free. And why is that? And you try to get to I think it's all about our foods and how we eat and how we don't eat and what we put in them. And I think we can do our contribution best to eliminate a lot of that. Are we trying to eliminate everything? Not the best we can, but what is everything? As soon as you get one thing done, there's something else out, and you have to be careful of it. But I think to the individual out there watching this or listening to this, clean food is clean food. And, what they call organic, the challenge with it is if there is 2 farms, one is clean, what they call organic, the other one's being sprayed. Well, unfortunately, or fortunately, there's wind. Wind will carry that over to that, what they call organic plant, and then it gets contaminated.
Mm-hmm.
And they realize it, but they're hoping that maybe the first 5 rows are getting touched, but when you go further in, it's less, but still a challenge. And that's why a lot of companies are doing indoors right now. You take like Dole with their blueberries and their strawberries, they're doing it indoors. Why? Protected. They're out in California and Arizona. They can grow better. Doesn't have to worry about heat. Have to worry about sunbeam. And with us, because we're living soil, there's not too much we can't grow. And we custom blend it. We're putting additives in it. We're not putting chemicals in it. We're just putting additives to make it stronger. Because what we're trying to do is get 5 years sustainability in our soil and inside every single farm. And we can achieve that. It's already been achieved through another industry, but we can make that happen. And what that does for you as the homeowner, it gives you confidence. You're going to be farming, but more from the harvesting and growing in your backyard. The farming itself, you don't have to dig up anything. You don't have to have shovels and rototillers and spades and all the things that go with it, because all that's going to be taken care of. And we're going to have people, specialists, that will check in on you every now and then to make sure that the recipe is being followed properly. Check for contamination. Maybe check. We can do this through AI and cameras and other technologies that will alert us if something's going awry, so we'll know actually before you will. But we want to make sure that you're safe and protect and mitigate any type of disease that we could ever think of that would come onto this, because it's a human being. We got to protect you. Hopefully you got a lot of questions after you see this, and we will be able to provide answers over time, and hopefully have a way to answer more immediately. But I think with what we're trying to bring here is a change, and it's not just in our backyards or around the country. And we have some plans for the country to now get into the AgTech Park here. But when you look at around the world, we're all fighting the same thing. Not enough food, not enough clean food, and people are eating things that they shouldn't be eating because they were told to eat it because it tastes good. Well, vegetation is something that's really clean. It's going to taste like out of this world because it's clean. And I think we can deliver that. So I mentioned AgTech Park a couple times. And so what is that? The AgTech Park is a piece of land anywhere from 25 to 50 acres. We're going to have a next-gen farm, 30,000 square feet. We're going to have double-stack containers, which gives you another 7,000 square feet, a 30,000 square foot greenhouse, a mushroom facility, as well as a lab. And then we also have a K-pot on there for demonstration purposes, so we're doing there. And the whole purpose of this is, one, to grow abundance. With all the mechanisms growing simultaneously, we can deliver about 3 million pounds a month, as I mentioned earlier. So now what happens? My belief is it's the young people of our world that we have to educate in farming. And when we do that, we carry a legacy of clean food further down the line to future generations, because they'll teach their kids. That's the hope. Well, I know around here, every school has an ag department, colleges, universities, high schools, and some of the grade schools are already starting to teach it, because the educational system is already feeling there's got to be a different way of doing this. The group that I look up to is the Future Farmers of America. They're in all 50 states. They have executive offices there, and I got close to some of them, and just a great group of young people, energy, smart. They want to be engineers and technicians and growers, and whether it be plants or animals, cows and pigs and so forth and so on. It's all relative to the environment. You want to do the best for that. Well, the AgTech Park, it's going to be operated by one of our CTech product gasification processes for energy. But overall, it's going to be also a way for people to come in and hear what we have. Some of our scientists will be there, and we'll be able to talk about the science behind it and what we're trying to accomplish. And then with the young people coming in, we're going to set up classroom environments. We have enough space for them to come in a group and listen to what this is. And you can always tell the kids that it piques their interest. They start hanging around and asking more questions. And that's the beautiful part about being a child. You just ask questions and you'll get your answers. But so the AgTech Park is, we're getting ready to break ground here shortly. And we have 50 of them planned throughout the United States. And my question to myself is, once we do that, we're going to cover a small area of population. Then you have like the state of Illinois is a long state. You have Chicagoland, and you go to the mid-states and Decatur or some other cities like that. Then you go further south into Springfield, and then you branch out from there, going to Missouri and to, I think it's Missouri and maybe Mississippi, Arkansas, in that area. But every state's probably going to pay 5 or 6 of these. I know this. And the reason I'm focusing on one right now, because I'm looking for the support from the FFA to help create awareness, what we're doing, how we're doing it, and why. And with that being said, then we can take and expand it out. And with DJ's help and some others, we're going to do that more expeditiously. And I think the biggest opportunity is actually getting consumers involved to help to look at the K-pods as a means to be self-sufficient. So you have energy, you have food. The other thing we're looking at is possible water. Water is a scarcity. If I look at some of the cities around the world, around the United States, even Chicagoland, the infrastructure is over 100 some years old. It has to be replaced. If they replace it, it's going to cost a fortune. So how do we help with that? Even though it's got to be done, but how do we help with offsetting that with something different that can generate water at the same time? And there's vehicles out there we're looking at, but nothing's in concrete yet. So we got to keep on working it. But one of the things that I try to do from a technology standpoint is I tell my team, I never want to be a me too. And what I mean by that is if somebody's got it, and we say we got to have that, then we become a me too. I want to be the leader in that space, whatever that is, whether it's a new type of lighting, a new type of tray, a new type of building products. I want to go out and bring that into us. As long as we stay ahead of it, if it's possible, then we have a better product, which is more safety for you, more safety for the food that we're bringing to the table. And it helps us grow and helps you grow expeditiously and exponentially. Use my train of thought for words here. But my point being, technology today is a very fast-paced cycle. Whatever's new today could go extinct in 60 days. And the next bit of things coming out, or a lot of folks that copy it or mirror it or think they got a better mousetrap. And we understand that. So we're not looking for the immediate solution, we're looking for the long-term solution. We believe that we're embarking on here has got a 50-year to 60-year time frame because more and more people will start growing their own food. And when they do it through a farm in the backyard, that's great. But if they do it in a closed environment, which produce better food today, because the soil is beaten up over the building, the chemicals and everything else they poured out. But we'll get there. We'll make that happen. So with that being said, hopefully I've encapsulated what we're trying to do here. And then I know there's probably more questions and we can address those over time. So
thank
DJ?
you, Ray. Yes, thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Well, being in wellness, also, I see so many people in the past 40 years with gastrointestinal issues. And we know that has a lot to do with not just the GMO, but all the spray, and the glyphosate especially is causing that. And so that's an herbicide. But when we look at the health issues that have come from that just in the past 40 years, you're actually correcting that, but also families, say 5 families, you have that K-pod that's 18 by 18 that could feed those 5 families. They could put it somewhere on their property or nearby at least. So you're
Yes.
giving, you're giving so many people an opportunity and off grid, which is really nice. So yeah, this is amazing. And Ray, if you could give everybody your contact info, your website, your email, anything that you wish to give them. Remember, this is public, so be
Yeah.
careful what you, yeah. But yeah, I wouldn't give your cell phone number, but we can get there.
Yeah. My email address is ray@terra, Terra, firma, FIRMA, foods, FOODS.world. You can send me an email there and I'll respond to it as best I can in terms of timing. My website is the same, www.terra, firma, FIRMA, foods, FOODS.world. Both of them, the website has more information, of course. There's some other information from things we do with energy, talks about our mission, talks about business as a mission. Because just a side note in the story on how the Ag Tech Park came about. It came to me in a dream. I've been working this facility and how to build it and what it was going to look like. And I had a dream. And I say it's God's intervention, put this on my heart and put it on my mind. I woke up early that morning about 3 o'clock and I sketched it out. I'm not a sketch artist, but I sketched out what I dreamt. And I took it to a friend of mine. His name is Bob Happ. And I met him by accident on one hand. But again, there's no accidents. Everything's a purpose. And I said, could you draw this for me? And he did. And I don't know if you can see it right there, but that's what he drew right there.
Oh, yes.
And that's where it started. Now it's changed somewhat until we were trying to scale it, but the premise is the same. Now we're just adding to it and making it grow bigger. But that's how that came about. And now it's taking a life of its own because it's been timing. It's been 5 years in the making to get to this point. And when I look at that, quite frankly, I think God was telling me that it wasn't my time yet. There's more had to be done.
And now you're getting ready to break ground
Yes.
and get started. And you are looking for still at this point investors that are
Yes.
interested in this huge humanitarian project. So that is incredible. And I wanted to back up to the point when you were talking about organic, because you and I discussed this in the past, that organic is not organic. So
Correct.
yeah, so and to educate everybody here, let people know that what organic really is when people are purchasing that in the stores.
If you look up the definition of organic, and quite frankly, if you go to the USDA website,
Mhm.
companies pay about $300,000, $400,000 for that certification. But in that certification, especially for produce, it's 3 pesticides are allowed or allowable, but it doesn't say which ones. So each person or each farm is to get what they call organic certification is at their own devices and how they come up with that. And they also charge more for that. And if it's cleaner and better, it should be cheaper in my head. And I could be wrong, but it should be cheaper. And along with that, if I could take a little sidestep here, one of the things that we also are embarking on is working with farmers.
Mhm.
And here's why. About a year ago, I was talking to some farmers and talking to a group, and they said that after harvest time, they have to get a job. And I worked on farms as a kid, and they worked hard. It's from sun up to nighttime because that's your window of opportunity. And I never understood that. And then when somebody said, "Well, they got to get a job," I'm like, "Well, they're not making enough money on their farms." So what we're going to try to do is work with them because farmers are our allies. We're really partners in this because we all want the same thing. We want to grow healthy, clean food. And we're thinking we're trying to work with some of them. Now, I picked out 10,000 farmers in 4 states. And we're trying to get a hold of them. We want them to partner with us to actually put a next-gen farm on their property to help with starts and also to give them a yearly income. So as one harvest is done, now they can harvest over here, still package, still satisfy their customers and their audience. So that gives them an year-round income. And with their starts, it gets them ahead of the game to get going versus having a greenhouse. Everything is indoors, so it's cleaner. And then the other part of the second layer of that is work on some regenerative products. There's probably a good 7 or 8 that I'm aware of. There's probably more than that. But each one of them is either above the plant, at the plant level, or below the plant. But they all help repurpose that soil. What's the challenge there? The challenge is the expense of it. If they're getting a part-time job or a full-time job or part-time job after harvest, they might not have the funds to do this. So I'm trying to work with companies that I'm aware of to help participate in that. If we're really going to help them, is participate and repurpose that soil to become better, to become more vibrant. Because all the nutrients are down there. You have to go down a little deeper, but once you start, repurposing it, it'll come back.
Mhm.
But to do 1 acre at a time, it's not worth the money for them or the time. But to do a whole, so you have to actually catch them like at end of harvest in the Midwest here is about September, maybe October. That's the one. That's the time to do it. So get ready for the next following year,
Mhm.
and then provide them cleaner seeds. So I'm hoping you didn't mind me going off a little tangent there, but it's all inclusive.
No, that's so generous and beautiful for the farmers, because you're right. That's those are the guys that have been feeding us since,
Yes.
since the last 80, 90 years, when we stopped growing in our own backyard and became industrialized. And what I've noticed too, in just the past, well, mostly in the past couple of years, but in the past 10, 15 years, I keep up with what the farmers are doing, and a lot of them have been flooded out. I've noticed, like the corn crops, if you noticed that one time where all the tornadoes went through and destroyed all of their crops.
Yes.
We really need to help those farmers, because they're devastated. And this has been happening a lot all up and down the Mississippi, and it's been going on for a long time. I've been tracking it. So what you're doing is absolutely beautiful for the farmers. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Because I've seen a person, I can't remember, I connected with her. I forgot her name. Her name was Ash. She was saying that they only keep 15 cents of every dollar. And I went, that's a lot of work to do for 15 cents.
Yes.
They go, what happened to the opportunity?
Hmm.
And she said the same thing you just said right now, DJ. She goes, and sometimes we'll lose 20, 30%, 40% based on weather.
Yeah.
And then you're left with almost nothing at that point, because you get every $100,000, you're only making 15 grand.
Mm-hmm.
That's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of work to
It
generate
is
$100,000 only to get 15 grand. Most businesses don't survive unless they make a minimum of 30% margin. And
amazing.
yeah, it is. It's just nowhere near it. But I think there's an answer out there. So we have in this country 330 million acres of farmland. And a lot of corporations own them now. So the ones that I'm trying to focus on are still owner operated.
Yes.
And there's about 10,000 identified with 100 acres or less. I don't want to go beyond that right now, because I think the work of smaller ones, we may only get a handful that actually want to participate in this.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to put a package together. There's a lot of things we're involved in. And folks, I'm not the only one here doing this. There's a lot of people behind me. So my thought is to bring in some farmer specialists to work with the farmers, and then give them the package and how we can deliver it, and then get the other companies on board. And they will. They want to help too. So
That is fantastic. Oh my gosh. Well, we're going to have to get this out to the world, Ray, and get things moving, because we need this yesterday. We need what you're
yes.
doing.
And the thing about life, the time is always perfect.
True.
And now's the time.
Very true. Well, it
Well,
was,
thank you.
yes, it's been more than a pleasure knowing you. And it's only been a couple months. And I know we have a lot more work to do. And we will. This
Yes, we
mission of
will.
Yes, I'm part of your mission. I love it. I'm always here. Also, at Pure Energy Connections, people can reach out to me also because, Ray, you're probably going to get bombarded with emails, but I'm always going to be here to help you. And thank you so much today for sharing all this with us. Is there any last minute words?
Don't wait. Now's the time to act for your own purposes. Not mine, not DJ's, but for your own. We have a responsibility to our children and our grandchildren. So don't wait.
God bless. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here with us. And contact Ray if you have any questions, if you can contribute at all. If you're a farmer, anyone, please get with us and help us out so Ray's mission can completely grow, not just in this country, but other countries too.
Yes.
Thank you, Ray. Thank you for being here.
I appreciate you.